When Vincent returned with the boots, dagger, and red cape Calian requested, the black cat equipped himself and promised to return in 3 days' time with riches for his friend. Bidding farewell to Vincent, Calian set off on his quest. The Cat Sith walked the roads of Old Acadie for days, searching for appropriate prey. Then, on a gray summer morning, he found a suitable target. Charles Lawrence, governor of Nova Scotia, the new name of Acadie, was riding down a dirt road, escorted by a dozen British soldiers. Calian, using magic, cloaked himself in invisibility and leaped from a tree onto the top of Lawrence's carriage. Slipping through a window, the fairy creature landed directly in front of the governor. Calian revealed himself then, Lawrence gasping, but before he had a chance to call for help, the Cat Sith dagger was at the man's throat. "Listen closely," Calian hissed, hopping up on the man's knees. "You will hand over all the valuables you have. If you do not, I will kill you and any person you love." He pushed the blade into Lawrence's soft flesh, feeling the official shudder at its touch. "What? No questions, Governor." Only action. Calian kept his dagger on Lawrence until the carriage reached Annapolis Royal, capital of the region. Here the Cat Sith once more cloaked himself in invisibility and prodded Lawrence with his dagger to the government house. Lawrence handed over the gold and silver he had on hand, putting it all inside the bag Calian brought. Once finished, the fairy creature bid the man a good day and rushed out. The governor left speechless as to what just transpired. On the way back to the Rimbault farm, Calian stopped at another, looking at its corn carefully. "Perfect," he purred. Using his magic, the Cat Sith cut down the corn stalks and stuffed it into his bag, making good his escape before the farmer noticed. The sun was setting now, the day done, but Calian had one more stop to make. One more person to rob for his friend. Brunner was an ogre who lived in the forests of Acadie, stalking both animal and human prey, and word had it that he kept vast hoards of silver underneath his bed in his cabin, deep in the woods. Calian made his way through the forest, using his excellent sense of smell to track the ogre's scent, even as he had to keep himself from retching numerous times to do so. Finally, after much stomach rumblings and spitting of saliva, the Cat Sith came upon the wooden cabin. A ramshackle building with holes along the side for windows and a crooked chimney on top. It did not surprise him in the least to know an ogre lived there. He silently crept up to one of the windows, the foul odor enough to make his eyes water. Calian squeezed through the hole and landed on all fours, eyes immediately locking on Brunner lying asleep on a cot not too far away, just past a small oak table. "Marvelous." Calian shook his head and moved swiftly across the floor, stopping inches away from the bed. Going on his stomach, he reached out with his paws, gripping a hold of a chest. Gingerly, the Cat Sith wiggled it out from underneath the bed. It was a heavy piece of metal, one he could not possibly haul away. There was only one option. He needed to pick the lock. Flexing his claws, Calian stuck one into the keyhole and started twisting and turning, grimacing at the slight discomfort it caused. Then he heard a click. Opening the chest, he smiled. Coins of silver abounded inside, all for the collecting. "Oi, what are you doing, you rat?" Calian saw a shadow cover the coins. He swallowed hard, knowing what it meant. "You dirty little rodent. Coming into my home and stealing me things? Didn't your mother teach you manners?" Grabbing a handful of coins, Calian turned to run, hearing the booming voice trailing behind him. "Come back here, you maggot. Give me back me silver." The Cat Sith leaped through the window hole and ran off into the forest, the ogre's voice fading into the distance. It was dark when Calian returned to the Rimbault home. The candles burned in the windows, so he knew someone was awake. Knowing no one could see him lest they believe he was an evil spirit, he searched for Vincent's room, finding it not long after on the left side of the house. He knocked on the window, but no one opened it. "Must be in the living quarters," Calian mused, so he walked straight up to the front door and knocked, making himself invisible just to be on the safe side. Sure enough, it was Vincent who answered, looking confused when he saw no one standing there. "Good evening, good sir." At the sound of his voice, Vincent blinked. "Calian, where are you?" "Here." The Cat Sith showed himself, holding up the bag. A bag full of silver, gold, and corn to sell. Vincent took it, slowly examining it. He looked back at Calian, unable to find any words to express how his feelings. "No need," the Cat Sith said, knowing his mind. "As I said, I did it to help. Perhaps now you will look on the fair folk more kindly, eh?" "Yes, indeed," Vincent said, bowing to his savior. "Thank you, no need. Spend your new riches wisely, my friend. Calian blinked slowly and gave a final loud purr before sauntering off into the darkness of night. Vincent watched him vanish in the moonlight, a rich man, and now a believer in good fairies.